Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Seitzeh, Chamishi. So in this week's Parsha, in Perach Daled, the pasuk starts off and it says, Ki yikach ish isha uvala, if a man will take his wife and he will live with her, v'haya imlo timsachein beinav, and if she doesn't find favor in his eyes, ki matzaba ervas davar, for he found her a matter of immorality, the kasav laseve krisas v'nasam yadav shichami besav, that he writes a get and he puts it into her hand and he sends her out from his house. So the Gemara in Gittin has a machlokus between Reb Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel about what it is that he finds wrong with her. What's the minimum requirement that he can justify giving a divorce? So Beis Shammai says that it has to do something about erva. She has to do something immoral on a sexual basis, and on that basis he can divorce her. Beis Hillel, however, says no, even if she burns his dinner, she burns his toast, that's enough grounds to separate, to divorce. So what's going on here? Isn't it normally Beis Shammai that's stricter, and Beis Hillel that's more lenient? Here, he's letting Beis Hillel have the man divorce her even if it's something pretty minor. And Beis Shammai is the one that says, no, it's got to be something serious, like an erva. So, to see whether or not the Torah is pro-woman or anti-woman, it really depends on your perspective. Of course, the Torah is pro-woman. But in this case, Beis Shammai is still, from a woman's perspective, stricter. Because what happens if a woman gets divorced? According to Beis Shammai, she can only get divorced if there's a topic of erva, that she did something wrong that way. So if she's divorced, everyone's going to know that she did something wrong. She won't be able to say, no, that's not it, it was something else, it wasn't, we just had we went our separate ways, we grew apart. But according to Beis Hillel, that even something more minor like burning his dinner is enough, so even if she does something more serious like an erva, she could always be less embarrassed and say, no, it was something else, we had our differences and that was it wasn't as bad as you think. So it really depends on your perspective. Now, I don't want to end on a bad note about marriage, so even earlier it says Yikach ish isha in Perach Beis pasuk Yud Gimel, but of course it just said it also in Chav Dalet Aleph that I read from. So in Sefer Aleinu L'Shabeach from Rabbi Zilberstein, so he brings a story about a man who wasn't having very good Shalom Bayis, because even he did everything he was supposed to for his wife and kids, was very caring, but he wasn't satisfied, and that made he felt like something was lacking in his self-worth, and therefore that was hurting his Shalom Bayis. Until one day when he became sick, he had to stay home from work, and when he stayed home from work, he saw all the effort that his wife was putting in, hours to prepare the dinner, to shop, to cook, to prepare, and she did it without any complaining, and all that work, after a few minutes, everyone ate it up and it was gone. It's not like someone who builds paves a street, builds a house, that, you put the work in and you could look on it for years and years later and say, this is what I made. But here, a woman's work every day puts in a lot of effort, and there's not so much to show for it. And it's because he saw this that he really began to appreciate his wife, and he was thankful at dinner for her. He made sure that he knew that she was appreciated, and the Shalom Bayis improved as he felt that, there's really something going on here that's worth it. And it's, of course, not just the husband to the wife for all that she does, but it's also for a wife for the husband for all the efforts that he makes, whether it's putting the bread on the table or doing more of the physical labor, whatever it is. May we all be zochet to have Shalom Bayis and be blessed with a happy new year. Mitzvah Hashem next week. We'll see if we can add on some topics of Tshuva and Elul and Rosh Hashanah and all that stuff. So thank you for listening. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful